Meet Alex. He runs a paid advertising agency working across Meta and Google, and for a while, he was stuck with a disconnect that was quietly hurting his client relationships. His account managers and his client-facing team weren't speaking the same language, and it was costing him on every single call. So he went looking for a hire who could close that gap, someone who could actually get into the back end of an ad account, catch the wins and the issues, and walk into a client call knowing exactly what they were talking about. The first time around, it didn't work out. He found someone who didn't fit, let her go, and started shopping for other recruiters just to see what else was out there. Then he found the right one. Now she's not just managing multiple client accounts, she's spotting holes in his SOPs and retraining his team without being asked to. In this interview, Alex breaks down what actually changed between his first hire and his second, the specific skill test he uses to filter out unqualified candidates before they ever get on a call, and why he says working with a headhunter is the only real option once you've outgrown doing it all yourself. What's up, guys? I'm your blog co-founder and CEO of Remote Latinos. I'm here with Alex Evans, who's based in Miami, who I got a pleasure to meet about a couple months ago when I went to visit. And Alex has been working with us for, several months now. And I know we've had a very interesting journey, to say the least. And we ended up finding you pretty amazing talent. And I do want to talk about that. So first off, Alex, I always like to ask, how are you doing today?
I'm doing phenomenal. Thank you for asking.
Of course. So, Alex, how did you first hear about Remote Latinos?
I was actually referred by Matthew Larson on YouTube. I joined his school group and I was asking around. I was looking for some talent and I was looking to work with my first headhunter, which you guys ended up being the first headhunter. And Matthew actually had referred you guys. Nice. So I reached out and gave you a shot. I also reached out with a bunch of other people as well too. But you guys made the process super easy. And I think I got on a sales call within like one day. It was super nice.
Yeah, that we try to make everything as simple as possible. You know, I think there's so many complexities that come within a business. And even today, I'm like, how do we make this more and more simple? You know, it's something that we've learned from Hermosis. So you came to us, shout out to Matthew Larson, and you were looking for, if I remember correctly, was like an operational executive assistant type of person. Tell us a little bit about what is it that your business does, and then what were you looking for when you first were looking to hire?
Yeah, of course. So we operated a paid advertising agency. We work both on Meta as well as Google. And I was looking for somebody who could kind of be a little bit of an all-in-one. Previously in the business, we used to have CSMs, like client-facing people, and then we would have our internal account managers. And there was a little bit of a disconnect there between just like the overall language and the reporting and then the calls with the clients. So we were looking for somebody who could kind of like actually not necessarily run the entire account, but have the knowledge to be able to go in the back end of Google or the back end of Facebook, actually look at those reports, see if there's anything wrong with them, highlight some wins. So that way, when they're on the call with the client and they're really dialed in that account manager role, that they know what they're talking about and they can really sell it with confidence.
Yeah, that's huge, right? And then one of the biggest things with that type of role is finding someone that has not just the experience and skill, but also is a great culture fit for you and your company, so you can build around them and you really grow. So you mentioned you got on a call with us, and then you're like, "Hey, I'm going to give these guys a shot." And walk me through a little bit like your journey of, the first few candidates that you interviewed. I know you ended up hiring someone; it didn't really work out, which is okay. And I do want to be open about like, hey, we're not perfect, but we come back and we make up for it every single time. So walk me through a little bit about once you did partner up with us, what was that like?
Yeah, so originally you guys shared a few amazing candidates with me. I actually picked one relatively early on. She ended up being like 42, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm 29, but you had mentioned something about like a good culture fit. The second time going around, well, okay, I didn't let her go because she was 42. I just set the record straight. There was other things going on. However, the next time going around with the new placement, it's been so much better. And I was able to find somebody who's actually a little bit closer to me. Also 29, which is like a really great fit, but also has that experience, has perfect English skills. And overall, I would just say like a total home run. Like I honestly couldn't be happier. So that's I think you guys really nailed it.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. And I do want to dive into that in just a minute, but I want to make that like super clear. Like we do not, like neither of us hire or fire people because of age. Like that's just like a factor.
No.
We both run remote businesses. So if someone's like not technically savvy, or they have a very, like, it's a cultural difference because we are remote and they're so used to working in an office. It doesn't matter if you're 19, 25, or 47. you're gonna have trouble. So we look for very specific characteristics, and we both have people older than us and also younger than us. I mean, my youngest employee here is 21, and my oldest is almost 50. So I care about, and same with Alex, the right culture fit, experience, skill, and people that are just go-getters and then come in and don't have to be micromanaged and so on and so forth. So talk to us about this. So you hired this lady. You mentioned she's been crushing it. What type of work have you been able to delegate to her, and what were the results for the business and for you since that happened?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd say the biggest thing that has come about working with her specifically, and what I truly feel like you can't really find by trying to hire on your own, is that she immediately is just a go-getter. So like when we onboarded her, I gave her all of our trainings. I gave her access to her ClickUp. I gave her access to call recordings with past clients, some agreements so she could get caught up. And I didn't have to hold her hand. She went through everything on her own. She came back with the questions that she needed to have answered. And it's just been so extremely easy. Now, in terms of like passing over deliverables and all that kind of stuff, and like the overall workload, I've already been able to delegate multiple different clients to her. So she's managing those accounts, but she's also spotting some inefficiencies in our SOPs and has taken the basically leadership on that and is actually already proactively updating things inside of our ClickUp, inside of like the company wiki, tasks, retraining a few of the team members, and just like really jumping into there, which is amazing. That's what you hope for.
Yeah, that's so sick, and I don't know how to say this, but it's in my head, so I have to say this all the time. But when we first partnered, you mentioned you were looking for just to see what else is out there, right? Which is like, hey, I'm going to go see what's out there. And funny enough, one of the companies that you interviewed with, I interviewed their closer. So she's like, oh, this guy I just spoke with, he's actually working with you guys, and he's like, man, you guys charge way more than Remote Latinos. And I was like, that's interesting, right? And it's like a direct competitor of ours, right? And I was like, first of all, I don't find offense to that at all. Because like, look, here's the reality. The way I see it, I'm like, dude, I go to multiple different restaurants. It's not like I like one restaurant, I'm going to go here and only going to go here. I want to check out all types of service, all types of products. So I would have done the same thing. But like, based on your experience, and you did do some research outside of this one company, like what did you see that we do differently than these other companies for us, to earn your business and continue earning your business?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It's definitely like tenfold. There's a couple different things going on there. I would say the thing that's kind of kept me coming back to working with you is just the communication at the end of the day. Like when I told you that I wanted somebody who might be a better culture fit, you would ask me, okay, well, what does that actually look like? And helped me kind of go through that. And when I was having some concerns with the past candidate, somebody took the time to hop on a call with me and kind of like walk through and also validate my opinions as well too, because this is my first time working with a headhunter. I didn't really know if this was the right protocol. It wasn't until we let go of the last person and I started kind of shopping around a little bit, then I realized, okay, I actually have an incredible resource right here. And yeah, I guess you guys didn't have to answer the phone calls and you didn't have to respond to me, but you chose to. And it just shows like who I'm actually working with. So it feels like a better partnership, and I would hire you guys again, like no doubt.
That makes me very happy, dude, because I really believe in business. Like the most underrated factor in business is communication, and it starts internally, right? And then it goes towards your client. Because if we have internal problems, we're gonna have external problems. So communication is the make or break of literally everything, including our personal lives and things like that. You actually have a very interesting, I wouldn't say very interesting, but you have an interesting hiring process, specifically when it comes to like a skill test that you were doing. Can you share a little bit of what it is that you're looking for with some of the people? Obviously, there was a cultural aspects of it, but I remember you had a very unique skill test. What is it that you test for, and how do you measure candidates to make sure that they pass and to make sure you're talking to people that are actually qualified?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's really important to run them through a demo. So the way I like to look at it is like, I know that there are some skills that can be trained up on, but there's also some things that I need them to know before they even step into the business. So that way they can be the most efficient and also like just not take all of my energy training them. So for this particular role, we went through some like demos of presenting a report to a client, going through ad accounts, showing me exactly where things are located, showing me what optimizations they would make on one of our real ad accounts that we already had up, just to name a few.
Those are huge. I think a lot of people miss the point. And one of the things that I'm sure you made this mistake, I made this mistake when we first were hiring, we were just interviewing anybody that had a good resume and maybe a good video. And then you get on a call with them, you're like, what the am I doing here? Right. So now I'm at the point where if I'm interviewing you, you're qualified. Whether you're exactly my fit, I don't know, but I know you're qualified for what I'm looking for. And then I have to make a decision. Like I always say, like the actual process of interviewing should not be hard. The process of picking someone, you should have a hard time. Like if it's super easy and you're like, oh, this is it. Like you might get lucky. I've done it before, but I prefer having like a couple candidates that are very close to each other, and then having one that just has maybe a little bit more skill, maybe more experience, maybe more potential, and then end up giving them a shot. So, Alex, last couple of things here, man. So, obviously there's a lot of companies that are skeptical of working with headhunters, right? Whether it's the high fee, whether they've been burnt in the past, whatever the case may be. What do you tell those people when it comes to working with us, and why should they give us a shot?
Well, if they don't have their own HR team, I don't see another way, because if you try and post on Upwork, it's just not going to work. And if you try and post on LinkedIn, you're going to get hundreds or thousands of applicants, and then you don't really have time to go through that either. So I genuinely don't see another way, honestly.
I swear with you, bro. It's funny. It's like, forget about like Remote Latinos for a second. Like, go work with a headhunter. You find someone that you can work with that's good, amazing. Obviously, I feel like we excel. We've hired, this year alone, we're almost at 1,000 hires already. So like we're excelling. We're starting to get there. It's a long way to go. But the biggest thing is that if you don't have the HR team, which Alex just mentioned, you're doing it all yourself. So maybe in the beginning when you're brand new in the business and you have a little bit of time, sure. But outside of that, like go find a headhunter, give us a shot, like whatever the case may be. And then last but not least, man, I'm always curious for you. Like we talked a little bit about before this, but you mentioned you're traveling a little bit, you're going to Europe. What are some of your business goals? Like, is there a goal you're trying to get the company to, or the business? Are you trying to exit at some point, or just keep growing it?
Yeah, we're trying to launch 100 new ad campaigns, specifically in the wellness and longevity space, by 2029. So that's kind of our big goal right now. It's going to require
100 a day.
No, 100 brand new ad campaigns, specifically for the brands that we're already working with, the new ones.
Nice. So we got some time until 2029, but I know you're taking it step by step there. And what other, in the future, as you continue growing, progressing, what other roles do you see you potentially utilizing our services to help you hire for?
I'm sure other people are saying this right now, but like a CTO. So somebody who can really take the reins and start automating some of the things in our business.
Yeah. We just hired.
Graphic design type things. Like I feel like creative should be able to be replaced by AI pretty much at this point. So kind of like solving that big problem.
Yeah, that's huge. We didn't hire necessarily a CTO, but we hired an AI automations expert, and someone that's built on that. Bro, that's like such a game changer, because now instead of having 4 or 5 people, I can just have one doing all these jobs.
Yeah. That would be the next.
Same thing with designers. It's like instead of having like, people used to have like 4, 5, 6, 7 designers on a team, you can just have one, because you can automate so much of it. Awesome. Well, Alex, first off, again, really appreciate your time. I appreciate our partnership. I love that you called it that, because that's how I see it. I don't see it as a client business service. I see it as a partnership, someone you can come back, rely on, and I hope that we can continue helping you and serving you. And anybody you send, we've connected with a few people that you've sent us so well, and look forward to making this partnership continually grow.
Yeah, I appreciate your time today, and I'll continue sending you some referrals as well too. You guys do a great job. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
That's what happens when you stop trying to do it all yourself and bring in the right person. Alex went from cycling through candidates to a total home run hire, someone who took ownership from day one. If you're stuck doing everything alone, or you've been burned hiring on your own before, head to the link in the description and let's get you connected with Remote Latinos. See you in the next one.